Episode 142. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got the Wayback Machine happening today. We have the X-Men from the 80s. We have the Palace of the Golden Princess. Say that 100 times fast. And we have Gun Honey, Collision Course. Let's take a look at them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as an occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. I am going to be starting on a reality show in a week or so. Exciting stuff. Finally going to get back on set. Woo! I did give a class tonight. I think everybody had a good time. I overtalked as always. I will be giving additional classes if anyone is interested as time goes on. I don't do it like on a regular basis, although I might be in talks for that as well. So also remember that we're going to be launching Mythlords Classic Monsters with Mark Spears artwork. He's doing a lot of stuff right now. He just did that Green Lantern thing with Jon Stewart cover. It looks amazing if you haven't seen it. It's the one that just released this past week. It's not the regular Green Lantern title. It's the other one. That's War Journal or whatever. But yeah, so he does all the artwork from here. It's everything you need is in one box. We do have expansions, but everything you need to play is going to be in one box. It's very easy to learn. You're going to learn in 10 minutes. So it's awesome stuff. It's not like a collectible thing. Everything is contained. All right, it's called a deck builder as opposed to a deck construction. But anyway, it's lots of fun. There's videos online as well. But you can check out the link below, and you can sign up for our launch in October. Of course, we're launching in October for Halloween. All right, so let's jump into X-Men. This is number 201. I had to have this. As you know, Storm is my favorite character. So I had to. It's a little bit beat up. I just wanted it because this is where she fights Cyclops for control of the X-Men. And she does it without her powers because she doesn't have her powers at this point. And this kind of follows the X-Men 97 stuff because this is where Madeline Pryor is here, which is, the Phoenix clone basically, and is pregnant with, I think, Nathan. So this kind of is where they took the cartoon from. But I'm not a Cyclops fan in the least. I never was. I much prefer her leading the X-Men. So this is written by the legendary Chris Claremont. I really wish that we had this kind of X-Men now. The Gail Simone stuff is okay, but it doesn't have the gravity and the weight that this story has, even in one issue. So we start out with all the X-Men around the baby, and some of the faces are all right, and some of them are not. And you can see Cyclops' face there. He's just being a dick through the whole thing. So she wants him to come away and be a family outside the X-Men. He's like, I can't leave the X-Men because who can lead it if not me? With the ego is just crazy. And this artist, the legs he draws is just weird. It's like so long. But anyway, so everybody's like fawning over the baby, and Kitty, which is in her Shadow Cat costume. And again, the redhead is not Jean Grey, it's Madeline Pryor. And this is where Storm lost her powers, and I think was the head of the Morlocks at the time. They don't mention the Morlocks in here, but I think this is the time period, which is because that's when she got the mohawk and the leather jacket and everything else. But anyway, they're discussing their friendship here. And also the other Phoenix from the future, which is the daughter of Scott and Jean, I believe, and she has not told anyone that she is here from the future. Her name is Rachel. That's right. So she has not told anyone that she is here. So they don't know who that she's there, but she doesn't know that's their daughter. So then we jump into the Starjammers, which is awesome. And look at that. We have Carol Danvers flying around as Binary. My God, I have not seen that in forever. But anyway, she's part of the Starjammers, which is another direction that you could have taken the Marvels movie where she was part of the Starjammers, and that would have been awesome. It would have been another offshoot of Guardians of the Galaxy. They're so stupid. It's scary. There's so many directions they could have taken that Marvels movie. But this is, Charles walking around because he has that, I think that whatever implant that's allowing him to walk around. And he is married or getting married to the Shi'ar princess, which I think was also in the cartoon. Again, they took a lot of stuff from here. And the guy with the, if you're not familiar with the X-Men, the guy with the headband is Scott's father. So he's a Summers. Cool stuff. And it's literally just a little teeny scene, but it's so poignant where he's like, he can't get back to Earth. He can't tell them he's alive or anything. So he's happy with her. So he's having an existential crisis at this point, not knowing what to do. But then we switch back to the X-Men, and they're just playing baseball and taking tests and stuff like that. But look at Rogue's legs. Oh my God, that art is horrible. Just horrible. And I don't mind this kind of paper. I wish they just go back to it and make it cheaper. They could knock a buck off of the books just by going back to this paper. But anyway, so I think it's Kitty that's... Is it Kitty that's pitching? Yeah, it's Kitty that's pitching. And Colossus changes to his armor form and knocks it into the sky because she was getting it past him. So I guess he made himself a bigger target. And so anyway, he hits into the sky and Rogue flies up to go get it. And literally it's Air Force One. You can see Reagan right there. And she kisses the window of Air Force One. That's great stuff. So then we have this scene with Storm and Kitty, because basically she acted like her mother at some times, but definitely the big sister for certain. And here's just Scott being a dick where she's like, look, let's just get away. Let's be a family. And he's like, I can't go. No. And she does feel like, she's being abandoned even though he's standing right there. So he's just a dick. I don't know what to tell you. So Magneto, just like in the cartoon, Magneto is leading the X-Men because Charles is away and nobody's trusting him and that kind of thing. So we're getting little pieces of information throughout, but the big storyline is what's coming up, which is the battle for the leader of the X-Men. And remember that she does not have any powers at this point. So and he's using his, which is kind of dickish, right? So they're in the danger room, and they've programmed like an apocalyptic type of setting. And, he's just blasting the hell out of everything, and she's just kind of dodging where she can. But she has a plan, and it's pretty smart. She knows his one weakness, of course, so she's hiding, and she tosses her belt at his ankles and tosses him aside, throwing him off balance. But she gets away at the last minute, and they're up in the control room going, no, don't kill anything or whatever else. She's got this. And she drops some, debris on him, and he uses his blasts to knock it out the way. And at that moment, is that where he does it? I don't think so, not yet. So at this point, Madeline sees rain, and she's like, where did this weather certainly come from? So you're aware that she's getting her powers back as this fight is going on. But she still doesn't use them. So she doesn't beat him using the powers. So she is behind him over there in the darkness. And she waits for him to blast. She comes up and she removes his visor, knowing that he's done. Once you remove his visor, either he's just going to go blast everything, or he's going to close his eyes, making him initially blind. So she beats him just simply by taking his visor off. And then we have Rachel coming up at the back end, just, wishing her mom was around or whatever else. And then we have the Watcher pop up. So amazing, amazing stuff. I miss the X-Men, how it was. This is the X-Men I grew up with, and they have destroyed the X-Men 10 times over. I keep trying to get back into it. I keep saying, nah, it sucks. But this is good stuff. This is kind of like the Fantastic Four when, Byrne was doing it. So unfortunately, we're not getting this, but this would be great if we could get this X-Men, kind of like what they did with the cartoon, and I would love to see Storm leading. All right, so let's jump into Gun Honey! Collision Course. This is number 1. I've been waiting for this one. So this, I got to say ahead of time, this one does have nudity in it. That's all it really is. And so if comic book nudity offends you, just jump ahead to the next chapter. So this is written by Charles Adai. So each one of these little vignettes kind of fits together, even though they keep starting off with number 1. The story does continue. So they were being hunted, so they had to get off the map, basically, off the grid and everything like that. So they're staying in like this island. It's Gun Honey and the other dude, who is now shaved his head. And to keep themselves safe, they gave information to this head of this little country or whatever else. And if they don't hear from them within the year, the guy gets to release this information on the baddies, on the bad group. So we start out on the island. Kind of weird that he's sneaking up on her with the gun. Unless they're just playing, I didn't quite get it. But of course, even the first page has nudity in it. She gets dressed, and wherever they can stick nudity in, they do. But here's where she tells him that we're going to have to do something soon, because if they don't hear from us, they're going to release that information. So they get on a boat to go, but the guy runs a casino, etc. And they sneak in because they don't want anybody seeing them, of course, because that would ruin their entire thing. But they want to, of course, go to the kid's father, who I guess it's a corporation, not an island, but not a country. But look at the art on the car. I think that's amazing. But anyway, they sneak in, and of course the secretary and whatever else is not happy about the whole thing. They try to escape, but they're outgunned. So they're like, wait, we just want to see the other guy. So whatever they tried to do didn't happen. But anyway, so he tells them that his son was kidnapped, and they want to make sure the information is all destroyed. And if they don't get that within a certain time, then they're going to kill the kid. And he delivers a box, and it's the kid's hand. So kind of grody. So they're like, no, we'll go get the kid. Don't worry. Just keep the hand, I guess, because we can sew it back on. But they got information. They get intel about where the kid is being held. So now they have to sneak in. It's heavily guarded, of course. And again, the artwork's pretty good. So he has to basically be the decoy so that she could sneak in to the actual place where he's being held. So he has to get his ass kicked for a little bit, and then he starts kicking theirs. Meanwhile, she sneaks into the baths, of course. Of course, it's the baths. Now, where she's hiding a gun, I have no idea, but somewhere she is. Maybe it's in the towel. I don't know. But anyway, you can see that the kid has no hand there, and they're still torturing him. They shove a knife in the other hand. So she ends up fighting the guy to get past, to get into the room where the kid is being held. And she gets in there, but there's a whole bunch of people. So I don't know how she's going to get out, but that's the story. Anyway, it's just a little fun thing. I had a good time with that. Of course, nudity everywhere. Then Preston Poulter. This is a comic that I got through Kickstarter. I support his stuff, he supports mine, the whole bit. But that doesn't stop me from giving a review. So in the last episode, we have a matriarchy. Not only a matriarchy, but it's a very insulting matriarchy. I don't know how else to say it. I can't help but see that he's trying to parallel our world with this, because it's, like I said, it's very insulting. But there was I guess the character changes. I didn't get that from the last issue. That the character changes into Medusa. I didn't get that, but I guess that's what happens. That's the only thing I have. So you have these characters here, and they're about to get, into battle from the Queen and her army. So she's like giving the speech. Oh, the oppression, the oppression. See what I'm saying? So anyway, I guess this guy is giving a report about stuff that was stolen, because it's becoming lawless, etc. And this is where it gets weird. So she has a message for the Queen, but the Queen is having sex in the room, so she can't go in there. And she's just like, yeah, I see, I can't go in there. So instead, she goes out to address the troops on her own, and this is where the dialogue gets cringe. A lot of this is cringe. Surely you're not going to put a man in charge of the Queendom's army? Really? And that's how this dialogue continues to go. It's said like not once, but like many times. A man? Yeah. So we got this page here where the female ones are talking to the males, and she says, a man ordering the Governess Legion? Completely unprecedented. And if this was Themyscira, where there's no man anywhere, okay. But there's men everywhere. I mean, you're literally treating like half your kingdom like slaves? I'm not liking this. It's like I'm saying, it's cringe. It's like, and it gets worse. So Thora, I guess, is the other person having a bad hair day. So then we get into stuff like this. She's literally, what's the word? We're more likely to catch a squirrel than a beaver. Oh man, that's bad. That's bad, man. I don't know, Preston. What are you doing? What are you doing? So they're like, oh, he's like, gives her, what if we die? It may be the only time we can have sex. Then she's like, well, get on your knees. And I'm not even kidding. That is what she says. Prove it. Get on your knees. And he's like, now what? Now you'll see the beaver. So meanwhile, Medusa, Thora, whatever else, is giving another speech. And she's like, where is, I don't even know her name. She hears moaning coming from the thing. She's like, she's coming. Oh, wow, really? You had to go there. Best to begin without her, men. Bobby's filling her in. This is me cringing. This is me cringing. So anyway, here comes the knights, the enslaved knights of the other kingdom, and they start to fight and get attack, retreat. But now she's wearing pants, so I don't know. I don't know where the pants came from. She was just having sex. They show up, and now she's in pants. But anyway, so this is the only really cool part I like. So these demons come out of this portal, And the other knight, the oppressed knight, gets attacked, and he chops stuff off of it. He chops the arm off. He chops the head off, the whole bit, and now he is squaring off with the tall Thora, the chick's name is. Which I think she changes back because they have a big fight, and she's like, oh, dodge, oh, whatever. But he gets that's a pretty cool splash right there. I kind of like that. I wish the Medusa chick was cooler, but she's for her to say, oh, she's coming and she's getting filled in. But anyway, he trips her, and I guess that bottom panel is he kicks her in the head and knocks her out, but I can't tell from that position. And now he puts her over his shoulder. However, in the next page, she's no longer a Medusa chick anymore. So I'm confused by that. I'm confused. So let's wrap up. Will Palace of the Golden Princess make a good movie or television show? No, sorry, Preston. No, that's definitely not getting adapted. Will Gun Honey get... So, there was a show on Showtime called, or Cinemax, called Strike Back. This kind of reminds me of Strike Back, except with a male and female instead of two men. There was a female warriors in there, though. Not warriors, but soldiers. And I thought it was great. I thought that was a really, really good show. But whenever there was female soldiers, eventually they all get killed off. But it's a really good show. This reminds me of that. They'd have to take out some of the nudity, just the gratuitousness of it. But yeah, I think this will make a good show, actually. Maybe not a good movie, but a good show. And X-Men, yeah, I would love for them to actually get X-Men right. Imagine that. Just imagine them getting X-Men correct. Crazy thought. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Also, remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. It helps out me growing out the channel, as well as you subscribing. That would be awesome too. Ring that bell, ding ding. It's free. Do it. Also, remember too that we have our game coming out, which is Mythlord's Classic Monsters, the deck building game, where you can play as your favorite classic monster, and you're building up your army, and you're arming them, you're fighting over locations, etc. There's also a Wizard of Oz, a Dark Oz expansion that's pretty cool, where you could play as the Wicked Witch and Dorothy and get Toto and all that stuff. Anyway, check out the link below, and you'll be able to sign up on Kickstarter to get notified when we launch. That would be awesome. Check out some other videos as well, and I will see you guys on the next episode. You guys have a great week. Bye-bye.